Hey guys, welcome back to Gabbin with Gab. I know we're in a new setup. This is my room at school. This is part of my room at school. I have a little wall going on back here. The lighting isn't like perfect, but we're working on it. We're adapting to a new space, a new center. Obviously it takes a while to figure out, hence why this is a little bit later than originally scheduled, but that is okay because today we're talking about something I've been thinking about for a long time, and I'm really excited. So I just kind of want to jump right in. Hope everybody's been doing okay. Ask yourself how you really been doing. I've actually been doing pretty good. I had COVID. That's a whole nother thing. We'll do a little catch up at the end of the episode today, but I just want to kind of jump in. So today we're talking about it's okay to be cringe. Which, duh. Like when you hear it, duh. But also when you're the one actually being cringe or you feel embarrassed, you're like, no, it's not okay. My life's over. The world's ending. And it's not necessarily true. But it's okay to just, be yourself and not be embarrassed. Let me explain. So, one thing that comes up, obviously, is the internet. Gabby, shut up. Everybody knows. But just, thinking, dissecting it a little bit through this lens, through this perspective. When everybody online seems perfect and confident and they have all their stuff together, they're telling you to do this, they're telling you to buy this, they're telling you to do that, and you're like, what? I don't care. What if I don't care? What if for me I am my own it girl? What if for me I don't need an 80-step skincare routine? What if I just want to post whatever I'm thinking, whatever I'm doing? There seems like there's such an, not resurgence, but there's such an influx of people who want to be influencers, and a lot of their content is just looking the same to me. A lot of people just feel like they're trying to go in this specific direction, and honestly, I think it's a toxic direction. I think it's one that just produces materialism. But personally, when I see all of that, it makes me not want to post. My video isn't good enough. My video isn't specific and clean enough, when that should not be what I care about. What I care about should be, do I think the content has a good message? Am I being true to myself, But besides posting online, whatever, let's talk about in-person embarrassment. No one cares. No one cares. It's so hard, honestly, I still get in my head about it sometimes, but in high school it's so hard to separate what people are making fun of you for or whatever, or everybody else has this clothing item, you don't have it. It's so easy to pick on yourself for that and feel embarrassed, but it's when you're in college you're oh, and you realize it's so much more in your own head, and that nobody else is thinking about you that way. And honestly, if they are thinking that way, if they're spending that much time and effort making fun of you or bullying other people, they obviously have issues on their own. And who, you don't need to spend that much energy making fun of other people, so they shouldn't, whatever. But this is something funny that I wrote down. Also, if you're just let's say some stranger's oh, she's wearing those jeans that we were making fun of on TikTok. You don't even know that you're the butt of that joke, but you still put a smile on their face. You made their day. You wearing those jeans made their day. And maybe it's oh, that's so cringe, she's doing that. Who cares? If you feel like you look hot in those jeans and those jeans are your style, wear those jeans, I'm just checking in with my notes here really quickly. So, this is another topic I've kind of touched on before that has to do with jeans. Actually, great segue, Gabby. Clothes is a whole other aspect because there's so much wealth. There's so much wealth, yes, but that has such a big factor in your closet and what you're wearing. And if you want to match a vibe and you want to blend in with your environment, and that honestly used to give me a lot of anxiety. Picking out outfits still gives me some anxiety because I just know I don't have a super strong fashion sense of my own. I can put together an outfit for class, but when I'm going to an event or whatever, or going to a dinner, I'm what do I wear? And I need help. And sometimes I just feel I don't have anything to fit the situation. But there was a time earlier this summer where personally I felt embarrassed and I felt like cringe, and it was my friend's dinner. They were having a dinner and everybody was wearing dresses and nicer clothes, and I'm sitting here like, whoa, all I have is like going out clothes or like school clothes or workout clothes. Like, I don't have anything to fit this genre. I kept trying outfits on, looking in the mirror and thinking, that's not good enough, I don't look good enough, I can't go to this event. And like, I had a full anxiety like meltdown, which I'm proud to say hasn't happened to me in a while, but it used to get more often. But I was so anxious, and I was talking to my friend, I was like, go without me, like I'll be fine. And she was so kind and she waited for me, even though it took me like 2 hours to pull something together, let's be honest. But that just gave me so much anxiety, and I felt so embarrassed. One, because I didn't have the outfit. Two, because I was anxious and frustrated. And like, three, because I was late. And like, just to debunk all those, obviously being late when you're putting other people at an inconvenience, that's not great. But if it's a social event, you cannot be too hard on yourself for it. That is something I'm still trying to learn. But two, like, you can't be embarrassed of your own emotions. And it's a very hard lesson to learn. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But for me, like, when I feel good in an outfit, even if it's old clothes, even if I thrifted it, even if it's a shirt from 5 years ago that I'm bringing back in style, if I feel good in it, no matter what the trend is, I'm going to wear it. And I'm going to feel good, and I'm not going to be embarrassed about my outfit. Like, so what if this is out of style? You know how quickly the trends change right now? You know, like, you can be wearing, like, literally, what was that one movie? Oh, I wish I knew the name. Maybe I'll insert it. Everybody's talking about how it was filmed last summer, but you can already tell all the trends have died. Yep. Or like shoes. I feel like that happens with shoes so much. Like, every new season there's like a new it shoe, and it's like, girl, I don't got that money. So just like to keep up with what I like. Yeah, this is another like example I wrote down of that, is like the low-waisted, high-waisted trend. Like, I love my high-waisted babies. They make me feel good. They make me look good. I'm not going to jump to low-waisted and then suddenly get insecure about how my body looks just because that's the trend. Like, maybe I'll try it on, but I'm not going to like go that route just because everybody else is. So how do you even be yourself? How do you be yourself without embarrassment if you don't even know who you are? Like me, I'm sitting here and I'm like telling you guys, I don't really feel like I have a strong fashion taste. That's not something I identify myself with, but there's so many other ways to identify yourself, and there's so many different things you can do to kind of find yourself. But getting kind of deep, this is like something that I did, just taking it a step back, thinking about what brings me joy. So I literally have a note on my phone it's titled like things I like, and it's a list that I add to sometimes, but I started it when I was just in a really dark place, and I was just so mad at the world, and I felt like I was really stuck. And part of that feeling stuck was I didn't even know who I was. I didn't even know what I was doing. It's easy when you're in a new environment to lose yourself to that environment and those kind of people. So I made the list, and it helped, one, practice gratitude, reminding what I was grateful for, what I liked, but two, just being like, oh, like, that is a part of me. That's what's important to me. What brings me joy, what fulfills me. And I know it sounds so, like, weird to, like, write it down, but, like, even if it's as simple as, like, a certain food, or, like, a certain activity, or a certain TV show you like to watch, like, those are all part of who you are and what you can be proud of, if that makes sense. Another thing I was thinking about when I was thinking about finding myself was trying new things, because it's also such a good way to get over embarrassment. I have been scared of trying things before in the past, and I've really tried to push myself this year. For example, like, I've played basketball with my boyfriend at the gym, and like, I don't know how to play basketball. I don't know what I'm doing. A few years ago, you could not catch me on that court. You could not catch me dribbling. You cannot catch me, like, I don't even know. But I would have been so embarrassed about what everyone's thinking about how bad I was. I get scared when I think I'm going to be really bad at something. So I've been really trying to push myself in that aspect, and I really encourage you all to do the same, because honestly, like, it was fun, and it was like a good part of my gym shows, like a good part of my workout, and it was fun, and like I got to experience something that he enjoys. another thing that I pushed myself to do that, like, I definitely had to do, it wasn't as much of a voluntary action, but I had to write a cover letter for the first time last spring. And, like, you know how many college essays I've written, you know how much I've had to talk about myself, write about myself. I did not understand why the perfectionist procrastinator in me just came out, and it made me so awkward, and I was embarrassed to ask for help because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what to write about, like, this is a whole new territory for me, this is not a musical theater resume, like, it was just very overwhelming. And my mom actually did end up helping me write it, and then I was like, okay, this is all the things I would change to make this more my story, and then I have written multiple following up with that. But taking that step just helped me get over the fear and the embarrassment of not knowing what to do or being, like, so overwhelmed. Because it ended up that it was good. It was a good cover letter, and I got the job. Another thing I'm doing right now, I have no idea when that stopped recording, so I'm just going to go back a little bit. So I did the cover letter, and I got the job, and, like, that's fantastic. Another thing I'm doing is I'm trying to learn how to run, which is crazy. I did track, but, like, actually run, like, I want to be able to run 2 miles straight by December, which, like, I can probably do. I'll keep you guys updated with that, but, that's something new for me, and it's fun. I like doing it. I like making progress. I like challenging myself. I don't care that I'm doing something I'm not good at. I don't have the best form at, like, at the gym in front of people. They're not looking at me. They don't care. They're just trying to, like, hit their personal record, or they're just trying to, like, get a workout in before class. And, like, it's so easy to be like, oh, I've never, like, gone to the gym alone. I've never lifted alone, which, like, obviously you want to be safe, but, it's so easy to get in your head about that stuff when in reality, like, those new things that you try could become part of you, part of your life, part of the things you care about. And if you're refusing or stopping yourself from trying new things because you're afraid of other people and because you're afraid of being called out as the weird girl in the corner who doesn't know what she's doing, like, that could hold you back from so many things you didn't even know were possible. And, like, I'm afraid I'm sounding a little too preachy, but this is just something that, like, I'm so passionate about because I think I very much live to who I am, but I've also experienced parts of my life, like I said earlier, where I didn't feel like I was living to who I was. And obviously it is easier when you have, like, friends and family doing new activities with you who are supporting you, and everything in life is easier when you have them. But obviously, like, what do you do if you don't have those people there with you, or if you want to be confident in your cringe? I just like that because alliteration. If you want to be confident in yourself without the validation, for me that looks like documenting moments of success, moments of confidence. I use Notion, which I've talked a little bit about before, and I wouldn't even call it a journal. It's just this page where every month I write the date and I just word vomit. And sometimes those are sad word vomits that I never want to look at again. And sometimes it's like things you wouldn't recognize yourself for consciously. Like, I answered a question in class today. I made this meal. Things that you would, like, want to send a selfie of you doing to your mom. Like, hey, look, I'm proud of me. But you're writing them down to show that you are proud of yourself. I know that can be very deep, but that's just one way where I was reinforcing my own choices, reinforcing my own actions, and validating and supporting myself. That's very valuable to me, because I'm not, like, a sit-down journaler. I don't write down everything, but in those moments where I feel like, what am I even doing? Am I making the right choice? Like, I can go back and read those little things I wrote about myself, and it's super helpful. I also wrote on here, this is my outline, by the way, I wrote on here, like, think about your younger self. This isn't really something I do as much, but I've seen a lot of people do it on, like, TikTok, where they're like, me from 10 years ago would be so proud of who I am today. I don't really think about it that much because I still feel like I'm young, and, like, obviously I'm not a kid, but I don't know, for me I connect differently, but for a lot of people it's like, look how far you've come. Look at all your friends around you. Look at, I don't know, your grades. Look at what you're pursuing. Is it what you thought you'd be pursuing? Like, just connecting. That's another way to, like, connect back to your roots and, like, reinforce your sense of self. Because when it comes down to it, I think sense of self correlates with embarrassment. Like, that's the same thing. Like, if you don't have a strong sense of self, it's easy to be embarrassed, it's easy to be jealous, it's easy to feel ashamed, awkward, anxious. The more confident and grateful you are, the easier it is to, like, tuck those under the rug. I know it sounds kind of weird, but think about how this confidence that we're talking about building will help you in your future career. So set some goals, like, I want to practice being grateful, I want to journal, and they don't have to be strict, but, like, if that's what works better for you, like, try that. I think that it's so important to trust yourself. I have an example written down here about somebody, but I don't really want to share their story. But, like, I've seen people, for example, like, apply to jobs that they weren't necessarily qualified for, but they trusted in their ability. They trusted that they would be able to learn the things required of them, and, like, they got the job. And, like, I feel like that's something that I don't do and I want to do more of, is just trusting the years of life experience I've had, even if I don't fit certain qualifications, even if I don't feel like I have the right outfit, you know, like, even if I don't feel like I could be, or I don't think people see me as a certain leader or role. Like, if I believe I can do it, I need to go for it. I wrote this, like, attack life like a white rich man with grace. Obviously, don't interpret that as you may. I wrote the with grace part because obviously not all old white rich men act with grace, but I meant that in the way of, like, confidence and being so sure of yourself. Another thing that helps me gain confidence is affirmations, which I've talked about a little before. But for me, it was, like, more in my head. Like, I wasn't really an out loud kind of girly. I've done it a few times, but it was more like changing what you think of when you look in the mirror, changing what you think of when you do an activity. Do you go to the gym because you hate your body? Do you go to the gym to make your body stronger? Do you, like, when you tripped and fell on the sidewalk, oh my god, that was so embarrassing, or no, like, you were living your main character moment. Like, yeah, you stumbled, but, like, how many times in, like, rom-coms do you stumble into, like, your next crush, you know? Like, it's just, like, reframing. I know that took a little shift from affirmations, but, like, it's honestly just made my life better. Like, looking at life that way has just made my life better. And who knows if my life has actually gotten better, which I think it has, or if that's just how I think about my life. But that's how powerful this is. Like, I don't know if I sound like a crazy lady right now, but I don't think I do. I think I just sound enthusiastic. I don't know. I think it's about how you think about the world, how you think about your life. That's what you do think and speak things into existence, in my opinion. You can laugh at yourself. Like, that is the best feeling, is when you know you did something silly and you can laugh it off, shake it off, enjoy the laughter that it brought to your friends, you know? Like, it's funny. Don't be scared to admit silly, funny things you did. You know? That's why I wrote, don't be a pussy. Okay, here's another rule I have for you guys. If something embarrassing does happen to you that you need to, like, laugh off, shake off, rant about, it's the 2-person rule. You can tell the story to 2 different people, 2 different groups of people, but if you tell more people than that, you're going to make it a bigger deal. You're going to be more embarrassed about it. It's not really going to solve the problem. It's just going to make you feel more upset. For example, like, let's say I tripped on the sidewalk, like I was saying earlier. Oh, that's so awkward. I tell, like, one of my friends, and then I let go of it. But if I'm, like, in my head and I'm like, oh my god, I tripped in front of so many people, and I start telling people, trying to get that validation, I start telling so many people, I'm making it a bigger deal than it needs to be. Like, if you're late to class and you're, like, so embarrassed, like, if you slip in quietly, open your desk, like, it's really not that embarrassing. Like, yeah, people are probably, like, see you walk in, but they're not looking at you. They're not wondering, why is she late? She's ruining my educational experience. Like, what is she doing? Like, no, that is not even part of the conversation. Or forgetting somebody's name. Okay, this one's a little different because this has happened to me a few times. There's a few ways we can play this game. You can say, do the old introduce them to someone else, say the other person's name first, get them to say their own name, and be like, oh, should have said that, huh? Or just ignore it and just keep track of it in your head. or you can ask them. I've done this recently, and I realized later why I was mixing up two people that looked similar, but I was like, bro. What happens, though, is when you maybe forget someone's name, and then you see them again later, and you laugh about it, and it's a story. It's the basis of what could be, like, a really great friendship. So don't look at it as, like, a you effed up moment, your life's over moment, you know what I mean? Just a few more things about this, and then we'll do a little catch-up. I wrote, life is fun, but it's also funny. You're free to laugh at other people. No, you're free to laugh with other people and at yourself. And then I said, try to laugh at anything you feel embarrassed of this week, and then write down anything you're proud of yourself for doing this week. And I'll do the same. I'll report back, because I'm going to try to have weekly so I can catch up, because I've left you guys hanging for a little. Speaking of life updates, obviously moved into my house. I live at Main Chicks. It's been really great so far. My room obviously though is tiny. Like, behind this is the wall. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll like change the angle for the next episode, but it's starting to feel more homey. My bed is obviously high up off the ground, but I've got some people and some pictures up. Gonna add some more pictures over there. I got my curtains up. Definitely feel like I moved in more now. I did get COVID after the first weekend of school, so I had to leave, which kind of sucked because I missed out hanging out with my roommates, with my friends, and I still feel like I'm not even totally settled into my environment, into my space, and maybe I'll do like a room tour when I am. Would you guys like that? Comment below if you want a room tour or a house tour if my roomies are up for it. We can also do like a Meet the Roomies podcast episode, but that will be like in a few weeks or months. What else? COVID. I went home. It was not nearly as bad as first time. Honestly, the first time wasn't that bad either, but I did still have a fever and a headache. I was just like hugging the Advil, hugging the Tylenol a little for a few days where I felt pretty bad. Honestly, when I'm sick though, I'm a sleeper. Like, I just want to sleep, and honestly, I sleep it off. Your body does so many wonderful things when you sleep. But my boyfriend got to come home with me. We actually went home for a different reason. He felt sick, but I thought I was having appendicitis or liver failure. Neither of which were happening, or gallbladder issues. Of course, when you look online at WebMD, you can go down those routes. But none of that was happening, luckily. But we did take COVID tests when we were there, obviously because we were around my family, and Nick wasn't feeling great. So we tested positive, and then we got to hang out, which is really nice. But it also was like kind of sucky to miss the second week of class and then go into Labor Day weekend right after that. I'm like, I don't even remember what real school's like at this point, honestly. And like next week's a 5-day weekend. I'm like, can I even handle it? I can, obviously, but you know, now is like when homework is picking up and everything. So I'm really trying to make recording this part of my routine so I can connect with you guys and stay a little bit more consistent this semester. I think having my own space that's not a dorm is nice. Like, I feel like recording in here is going to be fun. But yeah, what else is going on in my life? Classes aren't too hard yet, but I'll keep you updated on that. I'll keep you guys updated on the running thing. I don't know the vibes on that. Yeah, I think that's about it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope I didn't get too preachy at you. I just wanted to share some of my life experience. Oh, wait, bonus story really quick before I go. Story of me being embarrassed, kind of, but also emphasizing who I am as a person. This is daycare. Years ago. Like, I was like 2 or 3. I don't know how I remember this so clearly, but I remember it so clearly. So it was like theme day at daycare. It was crazy hair day. And my mom put all these curlicues in my hair. I think I might have told this story before, but it was like a long time ago. She put all these curlicues in my hair, and they were like so crazy and funny, and I was like, haha, like crazy hair day. Like, I was going in for the theme. I love a good theme. And I get to school, and like half the girls don't have crazy hair, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, why is nobody have crazy hair? And the teacher then gave them these clips. They each got one like pretty sparkly clip. They flipped in their hair, and they're like, oh, my hair's so pretty. Oh, I look so pretty. I have pretty hair. And I was like, guys, it's not pretty hair day. It's crazy hair day. Like, I felt like they were trying to make me feel weird for my crazy hair, when like that is not what they were doing. They just felt pretty and wanted to share that. But I was like, it's crazy hair day, and I'm proud to have crazy hair. After that, I was showing off my little curlicues, showing off my little pigtails. And honestly, I want to be that little 3-year-old Gabby again, because she was confident. She knew what she was doing. Yes, she got frustrated. She got a little confused about why people were bragging about their clips, and when hers was obviously the elite choice, but that was a little bonus story. I kind of tied in with the episode. So I hope you guys have a great week. Please, please, please laugh at yourself at least once this week. It's so worth it. And I'm happy to be back at school. Junior year. Let's freaking go. And I will see you guys soon. Make sure to like and subscribe, I guess. Let's see. Let's 10,000 by Christmas. That was my goal I wrote at the beginning of the year, so guess I better start posting. Anyway, bye.